Welcome back to the Resilient Philosopher. This is the Leon Dantes, and today we're going to talk about the importance of knowing what intelligence really entitles. Some people take tests to measure their intelligence, and the article accompanied to this episode and the expansion of the episode will offer more information on the history of intelligence quotients test, and that is will be important to read about. But in this episode, I want to touch the idea of how intelligence is truly not really able to test because academic intelligence or intelligence on how you measure patterns and understand the world does not necessarily mean that you are intelligent on running a business or the arts or in every single aspect of life. There's tradesmen that are truly intelligent in the work that they do and have no degrees whatsoever. It's natural talent. And I think that is what any intelligent or IQ test is missing is natural talent within a person. And this is not a saying that it's a God given talent or anything like that. No. I think that by natural selection of survival, there's certain people that genetically have a natural instinct to do stuff and are good at it. And they have learned it not because they woke up and knew it, but because they had the resilience of understanding the importance of learning every single detail and that they every day they had to work on themselves to get better and better and better at what they did. And that is why I believe that you can't truly measure intelligence. And it's even seen more within leadership and leadership within organizations at home or even within religions and in academic formats, usually lack the most important intelligence, which is emotional intelligence. Knowing and understanding yourself as well as understanding other people. How to understand where things are starting. Is it an emotional feeling because of jealousy, or is it because they truly are worried that the other person is not doing their job properly? In either form, a leadership without that ability of understanding emotions, lack of emotional intelligence, will succumb to failure in due time. Now, a leader that learns emotional intelligence and applies my philosophy the trinity of life, which is honesty to the self and integrity to the self. Stand for your principles and teach your principles, show a structure, and through consistency, your team will learn and will improve and it will accept your leadership philosophy. But if you go in there with a mindset that now they must follow because you have a title or a position of leadership, that will not guarantee the success of your team because they're not learning from you. They're taking micromanagement from you, which it doesn't empower them, it doesn't make them better. We go back, an intelligent or emotional intelligent leader will empower others, will show that where they are the best and where they need to work on to become even better than what they're best on. See, an emotionally intelligent leader is a servant leader. Their goal is to empower every member of a team and utilize them to create a strong team that works together, united under one purpose, which is to do what they're assigned to do and to follow instructions. Now, will they talk and come to you and express their point of views? Yes. If you've done your job correctly as a leader, they will talk to you. And you will learn from them and they will learn from you. And you're going to have different perspectives that can help you see a situation and find a solution with your team. See, it's no longer me, but us. And that's why having integrity to yourself comes very important. Because when you have integrity, even if you know that it was a failure of the team because of a member of the team didn't want to participate fully, you still stand for the team and you address the issue within the team before having to arise the issue any further. So to measure a leader based only on IQ would be the biggest mistake a company can make. Now, you could be smart at what you're doing. You can have great intelligence because you have a lot of knowledge of what you're doing. And you can gain emotional intelligence, but it has to be genuine. It cannot be fake. If you try to fake serving leadership, or if you try to fake emotional intelligent leadership, it will backfire on you. Because when you try to fake it, that is manipulation. And in the long run, manipulation is shown, it manifests, and it cuts you right out of being a leader. When a team loses trust on their leader, it's usually because their leader started trying to manipulate every situation to their advantage and started thinking about themselves and not the team. So, therefore, the third, the spiritual, the self, is so important. When you think of yourself as part of the team and the team being you, you no longer view an issue as is my problem, but is the team's problem. And now is multiple eyes, multiple minds trying to work together to achieve a solution to a problem or to get the work assigned done promptly and correctly. That is why emotional intelligence becomes so important in leadership and is the footsteps of a servant leader. When time comes for growth, maybe one of your teammates might leave. And that means that you've done your job correctly because you have empowered them to become more successful than yourself. And to me, that is the greatest reward any leader will receive in their time in leadership. And it's not, I shouldn't say time because leadership starts at home. Therefore, anyone that takes initiative to be a leader will be a leader in the whole entire life. So you really never retire from leadership. You just retire from a position or title within leadership ranks. But a person, let's say you're a supervisor in a company, the manager is your leader. His leadership should be the same as yours. The philosophy within the organization should be the same within every level to empower one another to succeed, to replace yourself when you're ready to move on to the next activity. In other words, this type of leadership promotes the idea of you can have your own company, you can run your own team, you can manage a company. It gives the opportunity for a person to see the importance of leadership within an organization because they see the progression being within the company. And that is why a person can retire from that position, but still be a leader within the company and in their lives, in their personal lives. And that is why the work that we do, visionleon.com, through the podcast, through the books, which are now available for free in digital format through PDF, you can download them. And some articles, you can download them on the website, are essential to push the message of serving leadership, of emotional intelligence. And the book of The Prism of Reality, based on the podcast, The Resilient Philosopher, in that book, I lay out my ideas, my understanding in a broad scale. I am currently working and hoping to release next year the pillars and principles of the Resilient Philosopher. That book is not necessarily a sequel. If anything, it's a standalone book that will have many revisions through my life, but it will have the basic pillars, the definition of the Resilient Philosopher philosophy. It will break down the philosophy of life and the view that me and my close friends and family have about life. It's not just going to be my point of views. Some will be from my family and friends that they have shared with me and that have become part of my philosophy. So when I say my philosophy, it's not something that I came up with it myself. It has been it has been fortified by reading a lot of different authors, a lot of different information from years and years of studying, of living a philosophy, and then learning from people like Carl Jung, Bertrand Russell, Viktor Frankl, Adler, that I understood that my philosophy in life, what I had learned in life, was actually practical, useful, and necessary to share. When I started comparing my point of views to their point of views, I understood more my point of views. And instead of thinking, oh, I am absolutely right, I started researching more. I tried to learn more, try to see things differently, share the information with not hoping to be right, but to be refuted and to learn when I'm wrong. Practice what people tell me in order to see if it works or it does not. And if it does, how can I improve it and how I can make it my own in order to teach others. And that is why I say constantly that anyone can be a resilient philosopher. We all have a philosophy in life. And the only thing we have to make sure is that it's built on the resilience that we have had in our lives, to focus on the positive side of any negative situation because it's useful to learn from. And then on the good situations, nothing that is the best that happened, but think how it can be improved. And when you worked in those things, that's when you really have a resilient philosophy. I would like to also remind that we have a GoFundMe account where you can help by donating whatever you can for the cost of operations. The work that we do as a family will continue to be done. With the resources, even if they're minimal, we believe that this is a message worth spreading because nowadays we lack a lot of positive news, and it's important to try to help others and understand life, the purpose, what can they do in their lives, and empower them to think critically. As I get closer to getting my degree and moving on to my graduate, the work would always be centered in leadership psychology. The work would always be centered in trying to help corporations understand that by teaching leadership, by investing in their employees is the best future for the company. So I see this not only as a way of helping spread good news, but as well as a way to do my own research and see the reaction out there with my philosophy on leadership. And that is why your comments is are essential to the work that we make. You can leave comments either on the articles on the website, and you can leave comments on this episode when you listen to it. Those comments are really useful for us. A friend of mine, a mentor, actually told me once that when you don't hear negative feedback or no feedback, is good feedback. So to always focus that as long as nobody is saying only negative things and people continue to listen, to go ahead and continue doing the work. And I've added more to that. I think negative criticism is positive criticism when you try to understand where the other person is coming from and how you can improve the work you do. Therefore, any comments that you make, it is very well accepted and welcome, and we truly appreciate it. Next week, we'll have a fresh new episode, and I hope that you, like always, show up. And if you truly enjoyed this week's episode, please share it. Share it with other people and visit our website because an article will be released expanding more details on this article or on this episode. Thank you again for showing up to another episode of The Resilient Philosopher. And remember, every day is a great day to learn something new.